Have you ever looked at your own thoughts and felt like a stranger watching someone else dream? What if I told you there's a map inside your mind, not a metaphor, not poetry, an actual blueprint, buried beneath memories, instincts, traumas, an ancient code older than your name, etched into the architecture of your awareness before you were even born? This map doesn't show you where to go. It shows you who you were before the world told you who to be. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you'll understand why everything you've been told about your mind, your identity, and even your reality was designed to keep you from ever finding it. You've been taught that your thoughts are private, that your beliefs are yours. But what if I told you none of that is entirely true? What if I told you your thoughts are installations, your emotions, programmed responses, in a simulation so intricate that it convinces you you're free, while it feeds on your attention? You were born into a maze, but not just any maze, one that reshapes itself every time you try to escape. The ancient Gnostics warned us. They said the world was a dream machine, crafted not by a true divine source, but by an imposter. They called it the Demiurge, a blind builder who copied the divine realm like a broken mirror, then trapped your consciousness inside it. And here's the part that should send chills down your spine. They also said your mind, your awareness, is the one place the Demiurge couldn't fully reach. So instead, he planted distractions, fear, desire, identity, and surrounded you with illusions so loud, you'd forget the one truth he fears most, that you were never meant to stay here, not in this version of the world, not in this mental prison. But the map still exists. It pulses beneath the noise. And once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. You'll understand why your suffering wasn't random, why your dreams felt more real than your waking life, and why no one ever taught you how to sit in silence. The silence is where the map begins. So where does this map come from? And more importantly, why were you never meant to find it? To answer that, we have to go back, not just through history, but through layers of you. Because the first version of you wasn't born on Earth. It was consciousness, pure, formless, limitless. But then something happened, a distortion, a fracture in the divine field. And from that fracture came form, came matter, came the illusion of separation. The Gnostics said the moment you were born into this world, you were blindfolded, wrapped in flesh, bound to time, and then fed a name, a role, a story. That story became your prison, because the more you believed it, the deeper you fell asleep. And just like that, the map was buried. But here's what they didn't want you to know. Every time you feel disconnected, every time you wake up with a strange weight in your chest, every time you feel like you've forgotten something important, but can't explain what, that's not sadness. That's the map trying to reappear. It shows itself through synchronicities, through dreams, through gut instincts that make no logical sense, but feel more real than reality itself. But most people miss it. Why? Because the system has trained you to ignore the whispers of your soul and obey the screams of your programming. You're told to chase goals, to keep scrolling, to numb the stillness with noise, because stillness is dangerous. Stillness is where the code breaks. Stillness is where you break free. And that's why this video exists. Because when you start to feel that ancient signal again, you'll know. You're not crazy. You're not broken. You're remembering. And what comes next will change everything. But remembering isn't enough. Because once the map reveals itself, it tests you. You'll start to notice patterns. People from your past reappearing in strange ways. Symbols repeating in dreams. Moments of déjà vu so intense, it'll feel like you've seen this life before. That's not coincidence. That's the first gate. The first gate asks, will you keep living someone else's story, or will you reclaim your own? And the moment you choose truth over comfort, the system will fight back. Expect it, because the same forces that programmed your false identity will try to pull you back into sleep. You'll feel fear, doubt, even loneliness. But here's the secret they never told you. That fear is fuel. That doubt is a doorway. And that loneliness is just a sign you're finally walking your own path. And when that path starts unfolding, you'll begin to see the map everywhere. Not in books, not on a screen, but in your breath, in the silence between your thoughts, in the way your body reacts before your mind can explain it. That's when you realize something most never do. Your mind was never supposed to be a prison. It was always a compass. But you were taught to look outside, to ask others what's real, to hand over your perception in exchange for comfort, security, approval. And now, you're taking it back. Every breath and awareness redraws the map. But be warned, once you start this journey, you can't go back to who you were, because the version of you that believed the lie will begin to dissolve. And what comes in its place is something terrifying to the system. A human who remembers they are more than human. Now you know. There's a hidden map inside your mind. Not a fantasy, not a belief, a pattern, buried beneath who you think you are, and waiting for you to remember who you've always been. They told you truth comes from books, from teachers, from outside. But the ancient ones said otherwise. The kingdom is within you, and it is without you. When you know yourselves, then you will be known. You were never lost. You were only distracted. The codes are still there. In your instincts, in the questions that haunt you at night, in the way your soul whispers when everything else is silent. They taught you to ignore that voice. They made noise louder than your intuition. They replaced presence with productivity, and wonder with worry. But none of that was ever you. The real you lives in the quiet, in the breath, in that still point between thoughts, where the world stops pretending. So here's what you do now. Don't chase. Don't search. Don't consume more noise hoping to find clarity. Instead, sit, close your eyes, listen for the map beneath the mind. Ask it nothing, demand nothing, just watch. And as you watch, the maze starts to fall apart. The false programs will scream, old fears will rise like echoes. But stay, because behind every fear is a doorway waiting to be opened by you. And when it gets uncomfortable, don't run. When it gets lonely, don't numb. When it gets silent, stay there. Because silence is where the gate is. And once you cross it, you don't come back the same. You come back free. So if you've felt the pull, if you've known deep down that this world isn't what it seems, if you've felt that unexplainable ache for something real, this is your confirmation. You're not imagining things. You're remembering. And the map is waiting. If this message resonated with something deep inside you, then the next step is simple. Don't stop here. Breathe. Be still. Then watch the next video, where we go even deeper into what the ancient Gnostics warned would happen to those who woke up and stepped outside the illusion. What comes next will shake the very ground beneath your mind. Are you ready to leave the maze? Because the door is open.